Hi everyone, my name's Sarah. We are putting this channel together because we want to share the road to our dream life, I guess. So this is kind of my first video ever, so you have to be nice to me. But this is kind of an introduction as to where we've been and what we've kind of done so far and kind of what we're heading into, I suppose. So I'll start from the beginning. Like I said, I'm Sarah. My husband is Chris. We met in 2017 at a local pub where I used to live in Fleet in Hampshire in the UK. And on the first date we kind of hit it off, even to the point where we've got the exact same birthday. Day, month, year, probably a couple of hours apart. Very strange. Got on really, really well. And yeah, within a year we were engaged. 2018 we went and got married. We actually fled the country. We went to Cuba to go and get married because we didn't want all of the family drama. We didn't want to spend an arm and a leg. We just wanted to get married on a beach, as far away from everything and anything as possible, really. And it was perfect. It was amazing. Yeah, so got married, and then at the same time as we were getting married, we were in the process of buying our first house as well. So we had a lot to deal with all in one hit. It was a new build house in Basingstoke, 4-bed house. So yeah, it was all going really well. Got back from Cuba, and yeah, basically we completed just before Christmas and moved in, I think, on Boxing Day. So it was a bit of a funny Christmas that year. Had all sorts of issues with the house. Had to kind of get builders in left, right and centre, so I will never ever buy a new build ever again in my life. Hopefully I will never have to. And we kind of got to the point where we didn't want builders in anymore. We thought, do you know what, we'll do the work ourselves. It saves people coming in and making issues worse. And we sort of decided to make the house our little project. So we started doing all sorts of cool bits to it. We ripped out an entire wall in our kitchen. So we basically took all the plasterboard off and took it back to the breeze blocks, and we put in these amazing 100-year-old real bricks. So it was a real brick wall. I'll add pictures and stuff in so you can see it all. Yeah, added a real brick wall in, which was super cool, and then we lit it all with a kind of LED light. We did so much stuff. We built TV units, we did vanity mirrors, like Hollywood mirrors or any sort of stuff. So yeah, we kind of got to the point where we were in our 9-to-5 jobs and we thought, do we really want to keep doing this? This is not what we want. We want to be able to have our own company and do our own thing. So we decided to set up a kind of bespoke furniture and kind of renovation type business. So we started small, kind of, Chris is an amazing carpenter. He started making bits and pieces for people that were following us on Instagram and on social media. And then we kind of started doing bigger projects. So we both basically quit our jobs, and then I would say probably a couple of months later lockdown hit, and COVID was just everywhere. So we obviously took the 2 weeks off where when no one was allowed out, and we decided to just like everybody else do their garden. So we had basically a patch of grass that flooded. It was more like a rice paddy. So we basically just stepped it. We had 3 levels to it, put artificial grass in, put a deck in, put a pergola in and a patio, and yeah, we splattered it all over social media. And then following that, we basically didn't ever run out of work. And because builders and that were allowed to continue working, we basically could work as long as we were outside doing people's gardens and landscaping. So yeah, we kept going. We worked solidly pretty much for 2 years, and built ridiculous business. It went so well, but because we were working so much, it was kind of like that was our spending time together. We didn't really do anything else but work. And then obviously when you work and live together, you get to the point where you're like, well, there's got to be more. There's got to be more to life. So we started throwing around the idea of maybe living somewhere else, as in the world. Chris had always fancied the idea of Australia, which I quite like the idea of. I'd never been. So we started doing a bit of investigating, and yeah, so logistically it was a bit of a nightmare because we've got two dogs, two really, really big dogs. We've got a Doberman and a Rottweiler called Thor and Loki. And to get them all the way over to Australia was a nightmare. So it would have been something like a 24-hour flight or whatever. They would have been on a plane for about 24 hours. And then they would have had to quarantine. But there's only one quarantine centre in the whole of Australia. So we wanted to live in, well, we were looking at Perth, and the quarantine centre was on the other side of the country. So after 10 days quarantine, they would have had to either fly over to us again, so back on another plane, which is a bit much, and then and then be with us, or we could drive to pick them up, and it's basically a 2-week drive across the country, and then we'd have to drive back again. So yeah, logistically an absolute nightmare. And also we were conscious about kind of climate change and the fact that the weather's heating up, and the fact that Australia had horrendous forest fires and everything. So yeah, we decided not to go with Australia. And then I have always loved Canada. I went when I was about 14 years old and I fell in love with it, and I feel like I knew back then, I knew that that's where I wanted to live when I was older. So yeah, we started investigating Canada, different ways we could get over there, and yeah, the logistics side of things is a lot more simple. So with dogs, we could literally put them on a flight the day after us, and we could pick them up from the airport, and that would be it. There's no quarantine, as long as they had their vaccinations up to date, and they recommend you get rabies. It's not a requirement, but they recommend you get the rabies jab because they've got raccoons and stuff over there. So we are in the process of organising all of that. So yeah, so basically our ultimate goal is to end up over in Canada, and we're so nearly there. But what I thought I would do is put together kind of some different videos and stuff, so I can talk through bits that we've done, and kind of where we're up to, and then continue the journey on as we fly over, which will be in August. So really not very long, about 6 weeks time. So things are getting really serious and really real. So yeah, thanks for watching, and stay tuned. The journey continues. Bye.